In hindsight, after nearly $10 million in sales with our brand, one piece of advice I can give you if you're already making decent money doing dropshipping, but like I was, you're not actually happy doing it. Save up money. The next time your ads or product dies out, use that opportunity to jump ship and move up to the next level. Dropshipping is actually nothing new. You can argue that the first versions were the mail order businesses in the 60s and the 70s, where they used mail order catalogs to promote products at high markups, and then you go buy it from a fulfillment center and have them ship it directly to the customer. Then in the early 2000s, Amazon and especially eBay dropshipping, which I used to do back then by the way, where you would simply list your items on eBay and let them drive traffic for you, and once you made a sale, you just go find the product for much cheaper somewhere else and have them ship it directly to the customer. And boom, you made a profit in between. Now everything changed in 2010 when Alibaba launched AliExpress. Here also I feel like I have a tiny role to play in this story, at least indirectly. I actually used to be an affiliate for AliExpress, and I would run ads for their mobile app to consumers, and then Alibaba would pay me anywhere from 30 cents to $1.50 for every new user I would bring in. And I remember back then, this must have been 2015, 2016, I brought the millions of users around the world through my ads, mostly through pop-ups and the shitty, honestly quite shady ad networks that were selling whatever ad space inventory that wasn't already gobbled up by Google. This is actually how in my early 20s I was able to buy my home in cash, as well as this gorgeous handmade grand piano, which is still to this day probably my favorite thing that I ever bought. At least the kind of things that have a pulse. But anyways, I'm going off topic here. Ever since around 2015, people started realizing that you could just run ads on Facebook, use Oberlo, later acquired by Shopify and then killed by Shopify by the way, to import products directly from AliExpress and then sell them through a Shopify store at a huge margin. And ever since then, people have been absolutely going ham with this. Now, I've done some AliExpress dropshipping too, to be honest, and I still think if you want to break into the e-commerce business, or you don't have the means to spend a lot on developing or testing a product concept that you think consumers might want, then running a smaller test by dropshipping something similar to what already exists is actually a pretty good way to test your ideas or test some advertising angles that you have in mind, just so you can get the confidence to invest the time and money required to actually make something that adds value. Let me give you a practical example. When I launched our brand Lanvin, the basic idea was this: beautiful watch straps that you'd normally see on a Rolex, a Cartier, or an Omega, but now for your Apple Watch. Now, at the time when I had this idea, it was late 2017, and the only option most people knew for the Apple Watch was either cheap crap on Amazon or the very expensive Hermes bands. So what I did was, I found some random Chinese factory selling these high-end looking, let's face it, relatively crappy bands on AliExpress. I set up a test within something like 3 days of having the idea and ran ads on Facebook to a super simple Shopify store. And after just 60 or 70 orders or so, less than a week of testing it, it was obvious to me that this was a hit. So I shut it down, got samples from a few factories on globalsource.com that seemed much more legit, and eventually placed an order for something like $20,000 or $30,000 worth of bands for one of them with our own branding and custom designing on the packaging. Then from there, once those had also sold out quickly, came a long multi-year process of improving on the product, recalling entire production batches, which was an insane headache by the way, going through multiple iterations of factories and designs and materials. The point here is, I wouldn't have made that $20,000 to $30,000 investment and started going deeper into designs and putting together an expensive photo shoot and spent all this time developing the brand and the product line had I not already known that this is very likely going to be a hit, since I had tested it already with a small-scale dropshipping store before. And that's how I view dropshipping. And that's how I think you should look at it too. It's a quick testing tool to try and gauge whether there's interest in your product or business idea. That's it. The rest, honestly, is mostly garbage. So what makes it such garbage? Well, I put together a list of 5 reasons why I think dropshipping is a complete waste of your time. Number 1, it's super short-sighted. This is the issue that affiliate marketing has as well, which I used to do before I got into e-commerce. It's why everyone I know who used to do affiliate marketing or dropshipping, who actually find financial success with it, almost always end up ditching it sooner or later. The big problem is, you always have to start over from zero once your ads stop converting, which believe you me, they will. And now all that hard work that you put in, it's worth, as the British like to say, fuck all. And that is mainly because of reason number 2, you're not building on anything of any real value. Usually not for your customers, or even if you are providing some perceived value to your customers, they think they got a great deal buying your 70% off summer sale. But the very nature of the business model means that you have to significantly overcharge them for a very cheap product that they could have ordered online, probably on AliExpress or Amazon, for literally a fraction of the price you just charged them. Now that's just the consumer side of things. For potential business buyers, like investors, aggregators, or competitors, is even more worthless. You see, a brand with a team of skilled and passionate, or at least invested people, who consistently try to think of and design new products to their customer base, it's the only way of continuously having your efforts build on your earlier work. It's the compounding effect, the same effect that's causing a person who already bought the iPhone 7 and then upgrades to the next generation iPhone, plus buys a set of AirPods to go with it, that makes a company like Apple worth over $1 trillion. Think about it. The founder and CEO can literally die suddenly from cancer, and the company continue to grow and do even better in the hands of someone else. And that brings me on to my next point, number 3. It's often very scammy, shady, or downright illegal. Part of this has to do with the fact that it's very competitive, but also the issue is that most of your success will come down to how well your paid ads convert in relation to other dropshippers or brands selling to that same audience in a Facebook or TikTok ad auction. And when you're not innovating on your product, usually you're left with having to innovate with the ads and the claims that you make in the ads and so on. Basically, you have to lie. Now let's look at an example that was really not hard to come by, because let's face it, there's endless amounts of these examples like this on Facebook and on TikTok today. Right off the bat, we can see, of course, it's a limited time special. What a deal. It's 70% off an already outrageous 79 euro price for something that they dropship from China at a couple euros a piece. There's not 42 items left in stock. Inventory is never tight with these guys. They have essentially endless stock. There's not 374 visitors currently looking at this product. And wouldn't you know it, it's been seen on ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. Right. Even the reviews here are almost certainly faked. This is not their team members packing orders. Come on. You really think that ABC ran a story on their shitty dropshipping product with no branding? Exactly. Now, look, I know you probably already know all of this. This isn't news to anyone in the industry, but a lot of people, especially young people, fall into this habit of thinking, it's okay, I'm just doing smart moves that increase conversion rate on the product page. They get so caught up in the competition and seeing others doing it on their product pages or hearing fake gurus talk about it with all the tricks that they use to increase conversion rates, that before you know it, good people find themselves out here essentially committing fraud just to make a quick buck. And I'm here to tell you, not only should you stop it, but you can be so much more successful once you do. So if you're running especially a shady dropshipping business, to me, you're not an entrepreneur. You're not suddenly some god of business. You're a scammer. All right, I've said my piece, I've had my rant. Let's get back to the financial reasons for why you should ditch your dropshipping ways. Reason number 4, and this is a big one. You don't get any word of mouth or benefits of building brand value. These are literally 2 of the most powerful ways of acquiring new customers. Just listen to Alex Hormozi when he talks about it in his video.
And the 6th way here is the most powerful. It's referrals. Word of mouth, that's what that is.
Or Sam Altman, the CEO and founder of OpenAI, who created ChatGPT from when he used to be president of Y Combinator, by far the most successful startup incubator in history.
The most important thing, the number 1 lesson we try to teach startups, is that the degree to which you're successful approximates the degree to which you build a product that is so good people spontaneously tell their friends about it.
These guys know that real money is made when you create a new product that people rave about to their friends or peers. Just look at any Facebook ad agency showing their amazing results with 10x or 20x, even 30x ROAS. Any call I've ever had with a successful ad agency to help run our Facebook ads, all their top testimonials like this were from well-made brands that usually have established themselves in their niche or in their market, which is the main driver behind why they can get that kind of ROAS numbers consistently. And that brings us to reason number 5. Another big thing you'll miss out on as a dropshipper is that you usually can't do PR or influencer outreach. No serious influencer or publication who's actually earned the trust of their audience will want to talk about or recommend your product, especially influencers within your industry, since they'll instantly know it's a scam. Just to give you an example of what you're missing out on, we had a YouTube video review come out from an influencer in Germany who refused to take payment and gave a genuine review about our new product line to his subscribers. Since we had actually developed something unique that he felt was worth talking about, and because he truly seemed to like the product, we saw in the first few hours after his video went live, close to a 1% conversion rate from views on the video to buyers on the website. That is honestly an unfreaking heard of conversion rate. And that's just something you're not going to get with a shitty dropshipping store. Same applies to wholesale. No self-respecting store owner or distributor will take on your product and sell it to their customers, meaning you're completely locked out of the enormous wholesale and retail opportunity that's out there. So if you're a full-time dropshipper, I know it's hard to make the transition or just shut down all of your dropshipping stores just because some random guy on YouTube said that it's a shitty business to be in. And I also know it's not that simple. Not every dropshipping business is created equal. Some are definitely more ethical than others, but as someone who's already made a big transition like this before, back when I quit affiliate marketing, which in my opinion is very similar to dropshipping today, I can tell you, running a short-lived crash and burn, pump and dump business model like that, which doesn't create any value and sometimes is even borderline shady, is no way to go through life. In hindsight, after nearly $10 million in sales with our brand, one piece of advice I can give you if you're already making decent money doing dropshipping, but like I was, you're not actually happy doing it. Save up money. The next time your ads or product dies out, use that opportunity to jump ship and move up to the next level. Having gotten to work on something you're proud of, that your friends and family actually like using, as well as working with amazing and truly good people trying to do good work, I can promise you it's much better on this side. So in conclusion, work on something that you care about, something exciting, something that you feel contributes rather than takes. That new Lambo that you're drooling over is not going to make you happy, at least not for more than a very brief moment. Trust me, I tried.